Hello, Magic the Gathering players. This is Anditesh Ordo, and I'm going to be doing a video on some of the releases, the previews or spoilers of the new set Ixalan, the one that has all the dinosaurs and pirates. So I'm going to kind of browse through what's been spoiled, what was uh, leaked that shouldn't have been leaked or something like that. So yeah, we'll go from there. So the first card kind of gave you a touch on it. First card is Jace, Cunning Castaway. I guess by the story, he was cast here after Nicol Bolas, defeated the Gatewatch. Which makes me wonder if they're going to go 5 ways. They'll probably send a message to each other or something and then create a whole bigger new Gatewatch, which will become like a Justice League or Avengers style. Who knows? Who knows what the Mad Wizards is going to do with that? But from here on, another 3-mana Jace Planeswalker. Doesn't do. I will admit, the party Jace or the original 3-mana Jace was probably the best. This one's interesting though. So whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player this turn, draw a card, then discard a card. That's the thing, is it's okay. I'll put it that way, because this one is you have to attack after. So this one's going to be more of a based on aggro with illusions. I will say this is one of the planeswalkers actually that's for Jace Planeswalker that's based on illusions, and he is an illusionist in a sense, and yeah, it's kind of nice. Also, I noticed that instead of usually saying Planeswalker, they've changed it to say Legendary Planeswalker, which makes sense. Planeswalkers should all be legendary, so I'm sure they'll just add those on later on. I'm surprised they didn't do that from the beginning, but oh well. His -2 is create a 2/2 illusion with whenever that creature becomes a target, sack it. If it's target of a spell, it's not an ability, so it's kind of like the other illusions if they're targeted. It's okay. All they have to do is find a way of. They can even pump the creature and they'll kill it. Then they could just bash in and kill the Jace. So he's not defending himself really. Will he be played? Maybe in some crazy deck. Sorry about that. And then -5, you create 2 tokens that are copies of Jace, Cunning Castaway, except they're not legendary. So one thing that's great about that is if you could defend the Jace, you can pump up 3 times, draw 3, discard 3 for 3 turns, 3 turns, and then you -2 to create a 2/2 blue illusion creature token each. So you'll be able to eventually create 3 tokens. It's meh. It's not the best. Treasure map. Of course, I don't know where the land is for it, but let's see if I click on it. It also pops up the land. Yep, there it is. So treasure map. Pay 1, tap scry, put a landmark counter on it. If there are 3 or more land counters on it, remove those counters and transform it into treasure map. Oh, transform treasure map. Basically, it transforms into treasure cove. That creates 3 treasure artifacts. Sorry about that. I don't know why I'm yawning. But anyways, and those treasure artifacts sacrifice to add mana. Then you also Treasure Cove, you sacrifice a treasure to draw a card. So there's going to be a theme of a lot of treasure in this set. That's going to be cool. So yeah, you're gonna and the land art was awesome. It's a way different land, which I hope they kind of go something similar based on the theme of that area. Like, this is a awesome feel to the land. It's a land. It's different. It feels like it's a map on the land. So yeah, I'll admit this one's really good. Then a 4 mana, 4/5 enrage. Whenever it is dealt damage, draw a card. Simple green creature. For standard, it'll be used. Obviously, Commander Dragon decks will, or Dinosaur decks, not Dragon. Dinosaur decks will use it. So, yeah. Also with Jace, it looks like he's a pirate too. So, Unfriendly Fire deals 4 damage to target creature. Oh, sorry. Oh, man. I'm not tired. It's just, this is one of those weird times where I'm yawning a lot. But deals 4 damage to target creature or player for 5 mana. It's meh. It's a filler. 2 mana, 1/1. Flash whenever in his battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each creature that died this turn. So you could kill a creature at the end of their turn, flash this in, and then bash in. 2 mana, 2/2 Vampire Soldier. I don't know. I don't know why they're doing vampires with this theme, but it's whatever. 2 mana, 2/2. It's just a vanilla. It's just a vanilla bear. 3 mana, 2/2 for Deadeye Tormentor. Enters the battlefield. If you attacked with a creature this turn, target opponent discards a card. So the pirates get raid. It's gonna be interesting. It's okay though. It's just a it's a draft worthy card. 6 mana, 5/4. When it is dealt damage, it deals 3 damage to target opponent. So it just lava spikes an opponent whenever it's dealt damage. So enrage is anytime a creature's dealt damage. They're bringing back vehicles, which makes sense because pirates use ships, and it's nice to see ships, or at least vehicles, in a new set that's different, has a different feel. You're probably not going to have a lot of flyer, crazy ones, like they've done in the previous set that had vehicles. So 3 mana, 4/3, crew 1. It's okay. Then Prosperous Pirates, 5 mana, 3/4. Enters the battlefield. Create 2 colorless treasure tokens and artifact tokens, and then they sacrifice to add any color to the mana pool. So you get to turn 6. You technically get to go up to 8 mana, so that's not bad. Then Tishana's Wayfinder, 3 mana, 2/2, enters the battlefield. It explores. Reveal the top card of your library. Put that card into your hand, and if it is a land. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, and then put that card back on the top. Sorry, put that card back or put it into your graveyard. So it's okay. So Explorers is going to be it's interesting mechanic. Old Growth Dryads, 1 mana, 3/3, enters the battlefield. Each opponent may search his or her library for basic land. So you basically, for green decks are gonna, usually green decks are really fast, but a 1 mana 3/3, whoa, that's insane. But giving them an extra land, especially if it's turn 1, you do that. You're making them essentially be on turn 2, essentially, with having 2 lands. It is I will say for Commander, it is one of those group friendly decks. So, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Burning Sun's Avatar, 6 mana, 6/6, enters the battlefield, does 3 damage to target opponent and 3 damage to 1 target creature. It's not bad. It's kind of like a Inferno Titan dinosaur style, I guess. Walk the Plank, 2 mana, destroy target non-merfolk creature. One thing that I have to talk about this for a minute. The thing is there's in the comments when I first read this, when it first was released, it actually, some people actually stated it shouldn't be just non-merfolk. And I'm like, I agree. It should be like non-merfolk, non-fish, non-octopus, non-kraken. Some of the, and maybe non-leviathan. But that, and then make it instant speed, so that it makes it kind of like, what's the card? Victim of Night. Make it like Victim of Night, but it has a lot of different non-this, non-that. So, Unclaimed Territory. I think this has been... no, this is a new card. Enters the battlefield. Choose a creature type. You add a colorless, or you can add a color to spend mana on the creature type. So it's just a way to filter creatures. Commander decks are going to love them. Maybe even modern decks may love them if they're dual colored. Well, not love them, but budget. They're more budget friendly for modern. Oops, sorry. 5 mana, 3/4, Bishop of Rebirth. I don't know why they're taking vampires to white, but whatever. Vigilance. Whenever attacks, you may return target creature card with a converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's okay. It's more commander worthy, especially with the new vampire deck that came out. This thing is going to be slotted in there really quickly. Reveal the Riches, 5 mana enchantment. Whenever a creature an opponent controls die, you create a treasure artifact token. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10 or more treasures, you win the game. Wow, that's a cool card. I for sure will say there's going to be a crazy modern deck that's going to use the land that creates a token for your opponent on top of having the black spell that gives tokens -1, -1. So you'll create a token for them, and then it'll die instantly, so you'll build up really quick. So this was going to be a fun card to actually play around. And I'm sure there's other, cards that could be used towards that. A good modern budget-friendly deck, or modern against the odds deck. I can easily see this being one of those Saffron Olive decks from MTG Goldfish, easily, right there. Enticing Melody, X and 2 blue, gain control of target creature with converted mana cost X. So 3 mana, you get one costing creature, 4, then it goes up from there. It's okay. There's a lot of better, gain control enchantments, or just, well, except this is a sorcery too, so it's permanently yours until it's bounced or killed. Kinjali's Sunwing. 3 mana, 2/3, flying creatures of your opponent's control enter the battlefield tap. It's another one of those tricks. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of creatures that they might even make some crazy, like, someone's going to make a budget friendly deck that's just going to be built around this strategy. Creatures your opponent's control enter tapped. That way you could find some cards that actually start killing off tapped creatures or something. Who knows? Against the odds tile. But it's still kind of a cool, 3 mana, 2/3 flyer. It's like it's not obviously not Nighthawk or Vampire Nighthawk, but the mana cost, the 2/3, and the flying part, it's very similar. So that's nice. And I'm kind of glad some of these decks are going to be built around 3 mana, 2/3 flyers. They're starting to build more of those types of flyers instead of 3 mana, 2/2, or 3 mana, 2/1, or a 3/1. It's a little more defensive. So, Boneyard Parlay, 7 mana, exile up to 5 target creature cards from graveyards. An opponent separates those two into piles. Put all the cards from the pile of your choice onto the battlefield, and the rest into your owner's graveyards. Wow. So it's kind of like Fact or Fiction. Graveyard Shenanigan Fact or Fiction. Awesome. I love it. Graveyard fun. There's some graveyard deck strategies I like. The one from the Grixis, I want to say guild, but whatever, that actually unearths creatures. Not Thraximunder, but yeah, him. 4 mana for 2/3, Herald of the Secret Steams. Creatures you control with a +1/+1 counters can be blocked. So if you have a Merfolk deck that gets +1/+1 counters, you can essentially make it to where they're unblockable. So it's not bad of a card. It's just definitely just a commander-friendly, casual card. Shaper's Sanctuary, 1 green. Whenever a creature you control becomes target spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. That's not bad. It's interesting because if you didn't know you're going to be playing a creature heavy deck with a lot of against a deck that's going to be playing a lot of kill spell targeted removal, this is going to be a good card because you're going to replace that card that just died into your hand. So you're going to eventually one up the opponent. So this is a good card. Casual, might even see some constructed. So we'll see. Deadeye Tracker, 1 mana, 1/1. Then you pay 2, exile 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard. Then he explores. So yeah, not bad. 1 mana, 1/1 pirate doing their thing. 3 mana, 2/2. Whenever, and it's a legendary. Mervyn, Fane, Dark Apostle, Fiend, Fine, what? Maverin, whatever. 3 mana, 2/2. Whenever one or more non-token vampires you control attack, create a 1/1 vampire with lifelink. Not bad. Legend, it's white vampire though. I don't get vampires being white. Are they like the opposite where they have to stay in light and they can't be in the darkness, or they die similar to how vampires die in the sun? It's like the opposite effect or something. You're allergic to darkness. You have to have light on you somehow. That'd be weird. 6 mana, 4/4. Except they would also have to be moving around the planet a lot. 6 mana, 4/4. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to the permanent player instead. So it's a Furnace of Wrath on a stick. Oh, that's, I think, what was that? Oh no, that's a human pirate. Oh, I thought it was an avatar for some reason. 6 mana, 5/5. Dinosaur avatar. When it enters the battlefield, whenever it or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to the creature's toughness. So that's not bad. That's really, well, constructed, it's bad. Casual, it's really good. Dinosaur decks are just gonna love it. Any of the other casual decks. So Sanguine Sacrament. I'm used to Sanguine Blonde and Blood, etc. 2 white and X. You gain X twice X life. So yeah, you tap it for 10. You gain 16 life. So that's not bad. And then you put it on the bottom of its owner's library. So you get to keep refreshing it, refueling it. It's kind of like a some of the cards from the 2 Mirrodin blocks, the Zeniths and stuff. Then Tokutal Honor Guard, 2 mana, 1/3. Creatures into the battlefield don't cause trigger abilities to trigger. That is going to be really insane. It's a Torpor Orb on a stick. It's cheaper than the Hushwing Gryph. So Modern's going to... There's going to be some builders in Modern that are going to build decks around this, where they're going to build the Hunted Horror, so they could play 2 black for... pay 2 black, put a 6/6... 2 mana 6/6 Trampler into play, and the opponent doesn't get their Centaurs like they're normally supposed to. So, yeah. This is definitely going to be more viable in those type of decks. Fathom Fleet Captain, 2 mana, 2/1 pirate. Whenever attacks, if you control another pirate, you may pay 2 to create a 2/2 black pirate with menace. It's not bad. Definitely casual. If a modern deck comes up with pirates between this set and whatever other set's supposed to be with it, sure. 6 mana, Sunbird's Invocation. Whenever you cast a spell from your hand, reveal the top X cards of your library. Where X is the spell's converted mana cost. You may cast a card revealed this way with a converted mana cost X or less without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Not bad. Yeah, it's definitely casual friendly. Unless someone wants to try building around it, then good luck. 6 mana, River's Rebuke. Return all non-land permanents target player controls to their owner's hand. So, a lot of people in Commander, hate going against, or probably even, a lot of people I personally would like to use it. What's it called? I hope it's here. I hope it's there. Yeah, Cyclonic Rift, that's the word. Some people actually hate Cyclonic Rift. Especially if it's, you've been buddy buddies, like you're doing politics and Commander, you're being buddy buddies. This is a card to kind of counteract that a little bit. So if you run Cyclonic Rift in a blue deck, you want to run River's Rebuke, because you could be like, oh, there's a player that everyone hates. I'm just going to rebuke you instead of Cyclonic Rifting someone or everyone that you really want help, like taking down the 200 life gain deck. So not bad. It will only be used. It actually might be constructed for standard as a 1 or 2 of, but outside of that, it's casually Commander. Commander's gonna love it. Priest of the Awakening Sun, 1 mana, 1. Well, also going back to River's Rebuke, it costs 1 less to, especially if it's a single, 1v1 commander. Yeah, that's River's Rebuke's gonna be great there. Priest of the Awakening Sun, 1 mana, 1/1. Beginning your upkeep, you may reveal a dinosaur from your hand. If you do, gain 2 life. Sacrifice it, search your library for a dead dinosaur, then put it in your hand and shuffle after. So it's just a tutor cleric for dinosaurs. It's a dinosaur tutor. 3 mana, 0/1 haste. Whenever it attacks, it becomes a copy of another target non-legendary attacking creature until end of turn. Oh, that is interesting. So if you have like a, I don't know, say Goblin Guide, for example, it becomes a 2/2. But outside of that, like, if you actually get a good few attacking creatures, that's great. Also, another thing, you go turn 2 Tarmogoyf on Modern. Turn 3 this, you swing with 2 Strong-Hide Tarmogoyfs. If they're like 3/4s, for example. That's pretty good. And on turn 3, you're swinging in with this. So Modern, I can possibly see it being put in somewhere, but we'd have to see what other creatures it'd be. So it has to become so. Also, the Buddy lands, or whatever you want to call them, lands are coming back. Glacial Fortress, Rootbound Crag. So nothing special to see there. One of the things I always hope in a new set is they release the ally and enemy lands, just to make the coloration fixing a lot better, and to give the cycles a complete 10 cycle. That way they could be used in future, or like, Commander and stuff, so players have a variety. But it's whatever. That's also another topic for another day. Copeland, Warden of Waves, 3 mana, 2/2. Spells and abilities your opponents cast and or activate, that target merfolk cost 2 more to cast or activate. Yeah, it's a really interesting merfolk. So if you're doing a mono blue merfolk deck, this one I'd say is probably one of your best, because it's going to make, people targeting your creatures a really pain in the rear. So yeah, any merfolk deck, commander-wise, yes. There's some talk it might be viable in Modern and replacing Kiora. Even though Kiora does counter the first spell, but this one makes the spells cost more. So early on, it may or may not be very, very good to use. So, but we'll find out how they, after the testing happens. So then the Carnage Tyrant, 6 mana, 7/6, can't be countered, trample hexproof. Pretty dang tough creature to defeat. Green, I would say this, because one of my thoughts of playing mono green in Modern was some people don't run Gaia's Revenge, or I think it was 7 mana, 8/5 that can be targeted by non-green spells and can't be countered, but didn't have trample though. This one was an 8/5, and this one's a 7/6. So this one is way better because it's cheaper, and mono green in Modern may actually pick this up. If they build a deck that can ramp into it, oh man, this is hard to beat. Hard to beat. You have to have Death Touch or a Mass Wrath or Mass Bounce spell to get rid of that. So Carnage Tyrant, I could see, is going to be a definite dinosaur beast for Modern. And standard even. Standard's going to be loving it too. How can you kill it? Like, literally. After what I've named, you can't really kill it. Can't be targeted. Settle the Wreckage, 4 mana, instant, exile or attacking creatures target player controls. That player may search his or library for that many basic lands and put them into play tapped. So basically, it's a mass wrath against attacking creatures. So that is a really good card. It really is good. Will it be played in Modern? Maybe. Actually, against creature decks, sideboard-wise, oh yeah, that's worth it. If you already have mana for Wrath of God or something, you throw this in. Yeah, it is a mass ramp for the opponent, but if you have it, you have it. But then again, another thing about it may or may not be viable for Modern. Standard, it'll be used. I can see Commander, it'll be used too. Especially if you're going to help the opponent that has like 3 tokens. They're stuck on 3 lands on turn like 20. Then you're like, yeah, attack with those 3. I'll just wrath them away and give you 3 more lands. Waker of the Wilds, 4 mana, 3/3 Merfolk. A green Merfolk. They're really going crazy with Merfolk to this set too. But it's whatever. Then you pay X and 2 green, put X +1/+1 counters on target land, and it becomes a 0/0 elemental. So it just creates tokens. Or I mean not tokens, it creates land creatures. Turns your lands into creatures. So that's really good. Modern, I don't see it being played in Modern unless you have a super mass ramp and you need a mana sink. Commander is really where it's at. Standard maybe. Admiral Beckett Brass, 4 mana for a 3/3. He's your pirate lord, especially for Commander. This card's gonna probably be between $8 and $20 within the next year or two, because between now and the next year or two, mainly because it's a pirate lord. So, other pirates you control get +1/+1 at the beginning of your end step. Gain control of target non-land permanent controlled by the player who was dealt combat damage by 3 or more pirates. Woo, you can start taking stuff, especially if you make them unblockable. Rogue's Passage. Woo, this one's a beast. 8 mana, 7/6 trample, vigilance, haste. Gish-Hoth, Sun's Avatar. There's also probably the Lord for dinosaurs. When it deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from top of your library. Put any numbered dinosaurs into the battlefield and the rest of them burn in your library in any order. Woo, that is insane. Commander decks are going to love it. And if you're going to try to build a dinosaur tribal in Standard Modern, good luck if you use him. Star's Extinction, 7 mana. 7 mana. Destroy target land. Star's Extinction does 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Whoa, that's insane. So you get a land kill spell. That's usually a lot of land kill spells nowadays cost 4. And then you pay 3 more. And you deal 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. That is a lot bigger than Blasphemous Act. Except Blasphemous Act does have the added benefit of costing less for each creature on the battlefield. And it doesn't destroy land. So there's, up and downside. That's insane. Constructed, I don't see it being played. It doesn't replace Blasphemous Act in anyone's decks that like to do Stuffy Doll. Commander is where it's going to shine. This star is a star in Commander. Nonetheless. Tashana, Voice of Thunder, 7 mana, star. It's power and toughness equal number of cards in your hand. So it's another one of those commanders that deal with cards in your hands, or legendaries. You have no maximum hand size, and when there's battlefield, draw a card for each creature you control. So, yeah, it's going to be one of those blue-green, draw a bunch of spells, keep them in your hand kind of decks. This one is unreadable, but we'll quickly hop in and read it. It's a Ogre Hand Rager. It's Orc Pirate Wizard, but it says it's an ogre, so that makes no sense. Menace, Death Touch. It's a 4/4 for 3 and 2 black. When it enters the battlefield, each player loses a third of his or her life rounded up. Whoa, that's a third. Dang. It's not bad. Someone may try running it in Modern. I don't see it being viable in Modern, but Standard it may be seen, and definitely Commander. Pirates need a way to speed up the game sometimes, as well as orcs or ogres or whatever they are. Ashes of the Aberrohent, 2 mana white enchantment. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or activate abilities of cards in graveyards. So it's kind of like Grafdigger's Cage. But it also says whenever a creature dies. I think it would be better if it was whenever a creature enters the graveyard. A graveyard. You gain a life. But yeah, it's whenever it dies. And I think we're really close to... Oh, wow. We got a ways to go. It's going to be a long video. 2 mana, 1/1. Green Merfolk. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Green does have those combat tricks that you could use with this. So you giant growth it. Gets +4/+4 essentially. +3/+3 until in turn. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. It's an okay card. There'll be some decks that'll probably try abusing it. And we'll see how that goes. Dreamcaller Siren. Oh, also, Deeproot Champion will be great in Commander. That's another all-star for Commander. Especially since Commander decks need all the ramp in sorceries they need. So they're going to be... They'll utilize boosting the Deeproot Champion's power and toughness. Now, back to Dreamcrawler's Siren. Yeah, if you can say it. 4 mana, 3/3 Flying Flash. Can only block creatures with flying. It's kind of a downside to it. Enters the battlefield if you control another pirate. Wait, this is a Siren pirate? That's weird. How does a Siren pirate... I don't know. Enters the battlefield if you control another pirate. Tap up to 2 target non-land permanents. So you could tap some creatures by flashing this in. If they get enough blue flash pirates, it might have some blue pirate deck that's going to be similar to frickin' fairies in a way. So who knows how that'll work. Goring Ceratops, 7 mana, 3/3 double strike. Whenever it attacks other creatures you control, gain double strike till end of turn. It's not bad. It's if you're doing an anima or a dinosaur deck, yeah, that's the way you go. 4 mana for 2/3. Enters the battlefield. Exile target artifact or creature until it leaves the battlefield. Hostage taker leaves the battlefield. You may cast the card as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as over mana of any color. So yeah, basically you can exile something of yours, and you'll always get it back when this dies either way. Or you can exile an opponent's, and then you can cast it so they don't get it back. Is how I believe it's read. So that's not bad. Then you got Emperor's Vanguard. 4 mana, 4/3. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, it explores. So it's going to get bigger. 2 more of the buddy lands, I guess you would call them. I like the art on them, though, especially Drowned Catacombs. Look at those ships. That's just so nice. 3 mana for a 3/2 Orc Pirate. Raid at the beginning of your end step. If you attacked with a creature this turn, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to that card's converted mana cost. Wow, at the beginning of your end step. If you attacked with a creature this turn. So he gets similarly close. Equal to cards converted mana cost. Oh, okay, so he's kind of a poor man's Dark Confidant version type thing. So it's okay. It's meh. For orc or a pirate deck, well, whenever they get orcs back to as a tribe, it's going to be a pretty good card. But you're also going to be losing life, so hopefully you have some life gain to offset that. Vraska's Contempt, 4 mana for an instant. Exile target creature or planeswalker. You gain 2 life. It's interesting. It's Black's Exile, but it's 4 mana, though. Commander's going to love it. Standard may use a 1 of or a 2 of. It's just so costly for it. Rowdy Crew, 4 mana for 3/3 trample. Enters battlefield, draw 3 cards and discard 2. If 2 if two cards that share a card type are discarded this way, put a +1/+1 count. Put 2 counters on it. So basically, you essentially make it a 5/5. So you draw 3 and you discard 2. So if you discard 2 lands, you're like, I'm getting flooded. Well, here's 2 lands. I get a 5/5. 4 mana 5/5. Last row and 1. So yeah, I'm gonna try hurrying it. It's a 35-minute video already. As Arcane adaptation enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type are creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. Same is true for creature spells you own and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Yeah, we've seen that type of card before, but it's not bad. It's definitely, casual commander viable. Captain Lunnery Storm, 3 mana, 2/2 haste. Whenever it attacks, create a treasure token, and whenever you sacrifice a treasure, it gets +1/+1. She gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So another treasure creator. Daring Saboteur, 2 mana, 2/1. You pay 3 to it can't be blocked. It deals combat damage to a player. You may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So it's kind of a looter. It's okay. I don't see it going to be played a lot unless you have some mono blue aggro. That'd be interesting. Sorcerous Spyglass, 2 colorless for a Pithing Needle with the added bonus to look at the opponent's hand. Then you could choose a card type. So if you know what deck they're kind of building, this would be kind of good in Modern, even though it fights with the spot with Pithing Needle. But it's still a pretty good card. Standard needed it, and that's how they got it. And then the last card, 5 mana, a Vanquisher's Banner, enters battlefield, choose creature type. Creatures get +1/+1 of the chosen type. And then whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. So it's just one of those, here's a way to pump my creatures, tribal creatures, and draw from them. So one thing I want to do before I let you guys go is I want to refresh and see. Nope. Okay. So nothing's new. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this new set, Ixalan. And I'm going to be covering more. I'm going to probably be doing some more videos on Ixalan's releases, as well as I'm going to be kicking out a few videos that I've been planning on working on. Thoughts on how improving Modern, etc. and even Standard. So, again, thanks for watching. You guys have a wonderful day. Peace and enjoy.